Well, hello, my delicious little night fiends. Welcome to Bloodsuckers and Badasses Part 1, Chapter 1, where the vampires are hot, the hunters are hotter, and absolutely no one sparkles unless they're on fire. Now, grab a steak, a snack, maybe your girlfriend's neck. 'Cause it's story time.
In a world where vampires and humans coexisted, a delicate balance teetered on the edge of chaos. Vampires, creatures of the night, thrived on human blood, posing a constant threat to the survival of humanity. Yet amidst the shadows, there were those who stood as bastions of light against the encroaching darkness, the vampire hunters. Among these hunters were Quenton and Scarlet, an unlikely duo bound by a shared mission to protect humanity from the predations of the undead. Quenton, a southern eccentric with a penchant for one-liners and unorthodox methods, was as skilled with a crossbow as he was with a witty retort. Possessing a touch of the supernatural himself, Quenton's psychic abilities gave him an edge in the hunt, though his true strength lay in his unwavering determination and unyielding spirit. His partner, Scarlet, was a force to be reckoned with, a fearless and sharp-witted warrior whose prowess in combat was matched only by her brilliance as an inventor. With a background in mixed martial arts, Scarlet was no stranger to facing danger head-on, her keen intellect and quick reflexes making her a formidable adversary for any vampire foolish enough to cross her path. Their paths had first crossed at a vampire cosplay event, of all places, where Quenton's charm and Scarlet's wit had sparked an unexpected connection. Though their romantic dalliance had been short-lived, their partnership in the fight against the undead endured, their bond forged in the crucible of countless battles and shared victories. Together, Quenton and Scarlet had stood as a beacon of hope in a world threatened by darkness, their courage and resilience shining brightly against the encroaching night. Ghoulings, friends, I'm Mr. Creepy, and now I present to you Bloodsuckers and Badasses, narrated by Mrs. Creepy.
Chapter 1, The Call to Adventure. The neon lights of the bar flickered in the night as Quenton and Scarlet occupied two seats at the bar. Scarlet's gaze was fixed on the screen of her phone, the ghoulish green glow casting eerie shadows on her face. Quenton, with his trademark hat tilted low over his eyes, nursed a drink in one hand and a wooden stake in the other. His grin was sharp, his wit sharper, as he traded barbs with the bartender.
Hey, bartender, why don't vampires like to gamble?
Quenton barked. The bartender responded with a shit-eating grin.
Why don't I give a shit?
Because they can't handle the stakes.
Quenton finished his unfunny joke with a flourish, punctuating it with a dramatic sip of his drink. You don't have to indulge in this dullard's jokes, but you do need to keep my cup full. So keep the bar, barkeep. Scarlet declared without lifting her gaze, her voice slicing through the haze of smoke and stale beer. The bartender shot her a venomous glare before uttering,
Go to hell, you wench.
Scarlet, unfazed by the exchange, produced a buck knife and, with a stabbing motion, pierced the bartender's shirt cuff, pinning it to the bar top.
I meant to say, coming right up, ma'am?
The bartender muttered as his eyes darted between Quenton and Scarlet. His hands shook as he poured their drinks. Cheers. Scarlet said as she dislodged her buck knife and reholstered it.
So, what's the latest, Scar? I see you're using your vampire detector app again.
You sure are a genius with all your inventions. Did you work out the kinks yet?
Quenton asked, his drawl thick with anticipation. Scarlet's fingers danced across the screen, her brow furrowed in concentration.
Yep, got some intel about our old fanged friend, Magdalena,
she replied, her voice tinged with excitement.
Looks like she's up to her old blood-sucking tricks again.
Quenton paused, his brow furrowing in concentration.
Magdalena.
How do we know her again?
Scarlet set aside her phone and addressed Quenton directly.
Remember that chick from the vampire cosplay event we met at? She claimed she was a Merovingian? She said she was bitten by a vampire and then turned into the most notorious Nosferatu of the modern world.
Oh, right.
Quenton suddenly remembered.
She's the one who sent me flying through a brick wall back in 2023. Also knocked out one of your incisor fangs. And now...
Scarlet cut him off.
She's wearing it around her neck as a souvenir. I'm getting my tooth back, and when I do, it's going right up her vampire ass.
Scarlet flashed him a sly grin, revealing her missing incisor.
Rumor has it she's brewing up something big down in the sewers,
Scarlet said, her voice lowered to a conspiratorial tone.
Something that could spell disaster for all of us.
Quenton leaned back in his chair, a devilish smirk spreading across his face.
Well,
he drawled, his eyes twinkling with mischief.
Looks like we've got ourselves a monster mash to crash.
Scarlet chuckled, her gaze locking with Quenton's.
You read my mind, partner. How come more men aren't psychics such as yourself?
She questioned in a playful tone.
I wish I knew. Say, how come more chicks ain't ass-whoopers and scientific-like, such as yourself? So effing hot.
Quenton responded with a smirk.
Let's continue that conversation at a later date. First things first, we'll need to gear up. This ain't gonna be no cakewalk,
Scarlet said, determined.
I never liked that term cakewalk. And I don't think people even know what it refers to,
Quenton said, irritated.
Okay, I'll bite. What does cakewalk refer to?
Scarlet asked.
Originally, a cakewalk was a dance performed by African slaves in the South in the 19th century. It was characterized by elaborate strutting and promenading, often with humorous or exaggerated movements. In minstrel shows, white actors would darken their faces with burnt cork or grease paint, also known as blackface, to portray African characters as they strutted and promenaded, reducing black folks to crude caricatures. Now, I'm not saying you're a racist. I just don't think you intended to dehumanize blacks by using the term you just used.
Quenton explained in a self-righteous manner.
No, Quenton. I wasn't reinforcing white supremacy. I was using the term in a figurative sense. When I said this ain't gonna be no cakewalk, I was referring to our mission not being very easy,
Scarlet retorted. Quenton paused. His face wore a sour expression.
Somehow that sounds even more derogatory.
Scarlet got back on track.
Come on, can we shelf this conversation and go open up a can of vampire whip ass?
Quenton's grin widened, his excitement palpable.
I wouldn't have it any other way,
he declared, his voice brimming with confidence.
Let's show Magdalena what happens when she messes with the wrong vampire hunters.
Right on cue, the bartender returned with a bottle of Fang's malt liquor, the amber liquid inside glistening under the bar lights. Scarlet deftly uncorked the bottle with her remaining incisor hook and poured 2 generous glasses for herself and Quenton. They clinked their glasses loudly together in a toast before downing the shots. As they stood up and headed out into the night, their laughter intertwined with the clash of thunder and flash of lightning in the sky. Instead of high fives, they clanked their wooden stake crossbows together, the sound reverberating through the bar. With determination, they dashed out, prepared to face whatever Magdalena had planned, leaving behind a trail of intrigued murmurs from the patrons. As Quenton's old pickup truck rattled down the desolate road in the dead of night, a sudden fog descended, cloaking the landscape in an eerie shroud. Scarlet's phone alarm pierced the silence, illuminating the cabin with its stark light. The message flashed ominously as an AI voice intoned.
More intel about Magdalena. She's down in the sewers with hundreds of vampires.
They pulled over to the side of the road, the fog thickening around them. Quenton swung open the cover on his truck bed, revealing an array of gear. Stake-thrower crossbows, garlic and holy water mace, flying crossblades, and ultraviolet tasers.
Did I forget anything, Scar?
Quenton asked. Scarlet responded.
I thought you didn't like my ultraviolet tasers. As I recall, you said...
That was cheating, I know.
He finished her sentence.
But they sure do come in handy when you're exhausted and shit out of luck.
Scarlet's tracker beeped urgently, indicating Magdalena's location in the labyrinthine sewers below.
We gotta get out of here,
Scarlet urged. Meanwhile, in the depths of the sewers, Magdalena stood before her loyal minions, all of them children, outlining her diabolical scheme. Her voice echoed off the damp walls as she described her plan to create a prison planet of humans enslaved to the vampires.
Are you ready to take over the world?
Magdalena asked, her voice carrying an air of grandiosity.
Yes, Queen Magdalena!
Screamed the children in synchronized obedience. Magdalena raised a bottle of red moonshine liquor before the crowd.
This is the virus that shall mesmerize the worthless humans into the sewers, where they will be transformed into vampires. Radiant and superior, with the gleam of the beast of prey in their eyes. We will emerge above ground, where our glory can be established forevermore.
The children vampires began to chant.
Magdalena, 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 Magdalena.
Wasn't that delicious? Don't worry, my darlings. The night's just getting started. Tune in next week for more blood, badasses, and beautifully bad decisions. Until then, my little darlings, always remember to keep it creepy.